Coming up in part 2, two brilliant bicycle rides along the Senda del Oso. And another Widowmaker trail for me and a sheer day of hell. We finally make it to the coast and park in some magnificent coastal areas and explore beautiful old fishing villages. Welcome back to the Adventures of Mac Anthea.
And to part 2 of our great northern Spain adventure.
At the end of part 1, we arrived at the recreation area on the edge of Proaza and prepared to start our first bicycle ride of 3. The first route was on the Senda del Oso, which was a route taking us from Proaza to Entrago and followed the river Trubia. This was such a good ride, we made you a separate video. It passes through so many interesting tunnels, we actually lost count. The whole route there and back is 32 kilometres. You climb a steady 2% gradient on the way up to Entrago, and then three-wheel all the way back. This route was fairly busy, but only really in one direction. Most people started in Entrago and freewheeled all the way down to the end at the recreation area in Proaza and then caught a minibus back. The next bicycle ride was also on the Senda del Oso, but took us on a slightly different route. Good morning and welcome back. We're on day 9 of our northern Spain adventure. We're still parked at the recreation area on the edge of Proaza. First job this morning was to go and empty the waste and top up the water. I'd like to thank the local authorities in Proaza for their wonderful motorhome services, which are all free. Parking looks quite good down there as well, quite set back off the road, probably even a little better than here, but without the shade we've got, so we're going to stick with here for now. Because even though this road is quite busy in the day, at night there's no traffic on it whatsoever. Okay, so this morning is going to be another bike ride, a second bike ride, but where we went right on the fork last time at the beginning of the ride, we're going to take the left, which is going to take us down to the lake, which we stayed for one night. You may have seen in the previous video. And yeah, have a good look around the lake there and probably go a little way by it or right to the end of it at the very least and check all that out today. Temperatures are quite low, it's about 3-4 degrees cooler than it was yesterday, so we're probably only going to be about 22 degrees today, which is great for cycling. And we're off. Across the car park of the recreation area on the edge of Proaza. Okay, so we're back on the edge of Proaza again and at the bicycle hire place on the edge. This bicycle ride started the same as the previous bicycle ride, except on this occasion we took the left hand fork, started an ascent up to a peak, which then flattened out, and then we started a descent down to the lake. This route was a lot quieter than the previous one, but in my opinion equally as good. Oh, that's strange, that tunnel obviously not only goes through the mountain but it goes over the top of the road. So we've come out on the other side, we're on the other side above the road before, now we're on the opposite side and next to the river. So how are you feeling?
Fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. This was such a brilliant bicycle ride that again we've made you a completely separate video of this. And there we are back at the recreation ground. Good morning and welcome back. Today is day 10 of our northern Spain adventure and we're still in Proaza. Today's going to be our final day here. I'm going to go on a solo bike ride up into the mountains to try and get a route with a few less tourists and hopefully I'll be able to get a bit more footage. The routes up to now, I wouldn't call them busy, not Benidorm busy, but there's been enough people on there and it makes it pretty unsafe to use the drone and things like that or do different camera angles and shots. So hopefully I'm going to do a climb of about 900 metres up into the mountains. Hopefully that will keep a lot of people off the trail because it's going to be pretty steep and it will be a lot less tourists, a lot quieter, and hopefully I'll be able to get a lot better footage. Okay, so I'm just preparing the bike up now, getting it all packed up and ready to go. Anthea's going to be absent on this ride. I think it's probably no surprise to you if you've seen the previous videos. A bit too steep for her, and she's just going to have a day chilling and doing odd jobs around the motorhome.
Things started off well on this bicycle ride. I stopped and explored a beautiful church, went through this beautiful village, but soon things started to go wrong. This was a bicycle ride route I found on Wikilocs, but in my opinion not at all suitable for bicycles. This was also a beautiful route, and I would love to return at a later date and do it on foot.
Anthea's going to kill me when she sees this footage. And yet more steps. Okay, this looks nice. It looks like we're going to be going across open pasture. Definitely one of those days I would have been better off staying in bed watching YouTube videos instead of out making them. Welcome back. We're still on day 10. I've completed my third bicycle ride, my solo bicycle ride, which was Disastrous, so please check that video out. We're at the service point in Proaza, topping up and emptying all the waste before we move on. We did 3 nights more or less in this area in total. Wonderful area, plenty of free parking, good service for motorhomes. Lots of walks, really good area to take time out. We'll be moving on to Cudillero, which is up on the coast. We've got somewhere in mind to park, but I'm not holding out much hope for it because it's a car park near the beach and it's August. And if it's full of motorhomes, I just won't stay in it. I'll go and find somewhere quieter. So we'll go and have a look, and I've got a few options planned out and see how we get on. So we've arrived at our parking spot for the night. This is the third spot that we chose. We went to the one that I plan to go to first of all, which is right up near by the sea. There was only about sort of 8, 9 motorhome parking spots. They were quite long, they would have been long enough, but they were really narrow. We would have been bashing side doors if we got out at the same time. And just didn't like the feel of the place. On the way out, we found another parking place. It just said parking. It was on the grassy area next to the estuary. Quite nice. There was a few bars opposite, but I don't know, we still didn't get the right feel from it. So we've moved along the estuary. You can probably see it in the background now, I don't know. A bit further, we found a rest area, which is what I planned. And we're going to settle that for that just for tonight, and then we'll move on and find somewhere a little bit better. It's quite close to the road, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. People who have stayed here tonight or the night before and written comments on Park for Night and said, yes, it's close to the road, but hardly a car goes by at night. So I think we'll be okay for the night. Good morning and welcome back. Today's day 11 of our Northern Spain adventure, and we're just getting ready to leave our temporary overnight stop here at a recreational area a few kilometres away from Cudillero. We had a good night's sleep. The traffic noise, because we're quite near to the road, is moderate in the day, but no noise at night. I don't think I heard a car go by after sort of 11 o'clock. So we've had a good night's sleep, and it's a good little area for an overnight stop. Okay, so in a minute we're going to finish packing up, and we're going to get moved on to try and find somewhere a bit more permanent, you know, something for 2 or 3 nights. I've got my eye on somewhere which is up near the harbour, right on the coast. I've seen reviews from people like in the past couple of days, which are pretty good. And that's also not far from a supermarket, which also has a laundry. And from what I've seen on Street View, there's no height restrictions going into the car park there. So with any luck, in a few days' time, we'll be able to go get a bit more shopping and do our laundry all from the car park of the supermarket, which is well handy. Okay then, so I'm going to get off and I'll bring you back in when we get nearer to our next parking spot.
And so we journeyed on, but as is so often the case, things did not go according to plan.
Okay, welcome back, still on day 11. Slight change of plan again. We went to the harbour bit and it was packed out. It was 12 o'clock on a Friday in August, so we shouldn't really expect it much different. So we continued on a bit. There was another one on Park for the Night on a restaurant car park, a big area. We would have been all on our own. It wouldn't have been bad, but we decided to check out a few more places. We come to this one here, which we liked. Sat-nav tried to take us down, or not Sat-nav, Google Maps tried to take us down a really narrow way, which we luckily saw and stopped and got reversed back out onto the road. And we found a better way down. So we're going to have to be careful of that in the future. I will put a note on Park for the Night app not to take the narrow road down. So in a minute I'll spin you around. This looks a pretty decent place. We're quite happy here. You voluntary pay here, so we just, most people just pay €1 to stay for the night, which I think is great. So I'll spin you around and you can have a look for yourself. So there you go. You can see Hobbit there. We're parked under the trees a bit. We've got the shade. It's a bit of a sort of a toss-up, a balance between the two. We want the shade so we're not too hot, but we also want the solar. So hopefully when the sun moves around a bit and the cloud clears, we'll get a little bit of solar on the solar panel. Okay, change of plan. We've moved from over there to here. It's not bad over here either. Reason being is the shade was sort of, okay, we should be alright, we should have enough charge in the batteries and that. But then when we didn't have 4G, that was a deal breaker. Okay, so we're going to go for a walk along this path in the corner over here and see what it's like down at the beach.
This was without doubt one of the most beautiful areas we stopped in, with a beautiful walk that took us through a kind of swamp area and finally ended out near the beach.
Got the stream in front of us here, and our motorhome's just the other side of that white one you can see there, so right near the stream. It seems to be flowing, so hopefully not too many bugs or mosquitoes.
So we took the steady walk through the swamp area, not really knowing what to expect at the end.
I don't know if you can see them from here, but there's actually, I'm filming some electric blue dragonflies flying around. Real intense colours on them, chasing each other. That's quite nice down here, little wooden path through a sort of swampy area.
Eventually we made it out of the swampy area to spectacular views of the beach. The video really doesn't do it justice.
I don't want to bump into the guy who owns that surfboard. Just for a second now, I was surprised. I've seen all the sand's damp and the sea's quite a way out. I thought that's unusual. I thought, no, it's not. We're not on the Mediterranean anymore. This is going to be tidal and this is the Atlantic. So yes, obviously the sea does come in and go out, unlike on the Mediterranean where it doesn't really move much at all. So what do you think of this? Will this do?
Yeah. For now.
So we're back at the parking. Good morning and welcome back. It's day 12 of our Northern Spain adventure. We're parked up in the car park of the recreation area, a few kilometres out of the small town of Cudillero. We had good neighbours last night and therefore had a good night's sleep. Although, unfortunately, as usual, we had the usual inconsiderate planks who turn up at about 11:15 and start setting up. Not mentioning anybody. Anyway, enough moaning for the morning. Today we're going to be going on a bike ride. We hope to be doing a cliff-top bike ride along the coast, but there isn't really any cliff-top paths around here. So what we decided to do is we're going to do an inland ride up into the mountains a little bit, but with coastal views.
This particular ride was from Wikilocks again, and started by going along the beachfront and then eventually went inland as we started climbing up into the Pine Mountains. I was itching to get out into the open countryside. I was really starting to get a bit peopled out.
Okay, so we're off and on our way. Didn't film the first section as we came out of the recreation centre car park because it was cobblestone, so there's a lot of rattling and shaking. Certainly glad to get out of the campsite. If anyone knows people who can't be around people for too long, too many people for too long, I start to feel anxious and start to get agitated, so I need to get out and about and get out into nature and get some fresh air and chill out a bit. Alright, pick a side.
As you can see, by this point my tolerance levels weren't what they should be. So we left the beachfront and continued on to an area inland that we hope will be less populated.
Okay, hopefully that's the only steep bit, really steep bit, because otherwise I'm going to be doing a lot of pushing and that's not going to go down well. Okay, so we've already gone wrong. Can't blame anybody but myself on this occasion. I forgot to press the start navigation button on the app, so we're not going back on ourselves because it's a steep climb up, so we're going to try and find a way around and get ourselves back down to the bottom and see if we can pick up the trail. This is quite nice in any case. Okay, after a bit of messing we seem to be on trail. There's a loop here that goes along the road, sort of a loop up to a village then back on another road that's running parallel. There's a footpath between the two, or some sort of path between the two. We're going to try and find that and cut this little bit of road off for the obvious reasons you've just seen. Okay, I've took a little road off. Hopefully this is the right one and this will join us across. Okay, so we've got the corner off that bit that went up the road into the village, and we've now picked up the trail again on the sat-nav. So, apparently we're going in the right direction. We're going to follow this one all the way up. Hang on. I'm thinking up.
Although you can't tell from the footage, this trail was a little bit more demanding than expected, and Anthea's poor bike, Wilma, was starting to feel the strain again. Whilst Wilma was great and perfectly adequate when we first started cycling again, now we're taking on more demanding trails, she's not really up to the job.
And it looks like we've come on top of a railway line.
Unfortunately, Bicycle Warriors made this trail a little less enjoyable than it would have been had Anthea had a bicycle that was a bit more up to the job.
Okay, so it's starting to level out a bit now, it's starting to get a little bit more enjoyable.
Needless to say though, this trail was absolutely stunning. We haven't made a separate video because much of the scenery is very much alike. So even though it was great to be riding along and to actually do ourselves, I don't think it would have particularly made interesting footage for a whole video.
Okay, so we're up at the top here. It's been a little bit of a struggle. We're meant to be going up that track there. I've just had a quick look. We've got an opportunity to bail now if we want and start our way back down. But what we've done, what we're going to do is we decided to go a little bit further up there and see it's okay. Because if it stays at that incline, it's fine. But if it starts to get too steep, then we'll just turn back round, come back down and go down that trail there. Okay, up to now it's looking okay. It's starting to level out again. So we're probably going to be alright. I'll be dropping back down into the shade, into the wooded pines again. Some mix of pine and eucalyptus here. Well, this bit looks nice.
Nearly all of this route was covered in dappled shade, with only occasional shafts of sunlight shining through.
Stopped. Look at the views. You see the bridges we came under over there in the distance, and the sea in the background. Yeah, the views are spectacular. Okay, Anthea's gone on ahead. She doesn't want to stop while she's got momentum. So I'm going to get going and I'll catch you up.
This bicycle ride was meant to be a figure 8 trail, but in the end we decided just to do the bottom loop.
So we're getting higher. We've just pushed the bikes a little way just to conserve some battery on Anthea's. We're going to come to the centre of the figure 8 in a minute, and we're going to take our way back down because we're not going to go any higher. We ain't got enough battery for it, or Anthea hasn't got enough battery for it.
Okay, so we're at this junction here. We could have continued along this loop here and round, and then we're going back down, but instead we're going to cut all this off here and we're just going to take a left and go back down and make our way back down. Okay, so we've just come up from there. We should be going up there, doing another little loop and then coming back down. We just come out at this point and then go down there, but instead we're just going to go straight from there, round and straight on our way down. Okay, so the app's going crazy, blipping and buzzing at me, telling me we've gone a long way. Anthea's saying get stuffed, and yeah, we just carried on the descent. Battery's been switched off, so hopefully just a nice steady roll down. So we come down from there, and we've got a nice bit of tarmac. Again, as in my last bike ride, on this occasion I'm glad to have a nice bit of tarmac for a while. So is Anthea apparently. Okay, so we're going to have a nice little tundra down there. See if there's a nice little spot for a nice quiet little picnic before we get back towards the site and it starts to busy up. Unfortunately, we never did find any decent picnic spots, so we just had to carry on. Lovely breeze coming up here now. It's pretty cool last night on the coast, and I think probably having the stream running next to us and the breeze running over the stream cooled things down. We had 16 degrees in the caravan last night. Yeah, it was lovely. I don't think it's getting much over 22 today. Nice cycling weather. Still looking for a picnic spot. Okay, so we're still going down. Anthea's battery is flat now, so on that last little slope, so hopefully this is going to be downhill all the way now. That's a good sign. We've got the bridge coming up ahead, so that means not far to go. We go under that and then we're almost at the recreational area parking. Okay, not the bridge I thought it was. This is an older one. Ah, there we go. There's the new one. Yeah, we're right. We're just going to go straight across here. This, incidentally, is the best entrance to take into the parking spot. I believe there's also a campsite down this route as well. Okay, and it's got busy. Fortunately, busy for us was no real problem for the bicycles. We just weaved our way through and made our way back to the motorhome. Good morning and welcome back. It's day 13 of our northern Spain adventure, and we're still in the parking on the recreational ground, a couple of kilometres out of Cudillero. Today's Sunday, so we're not planning on doing anything too much. We thought we'd gone up late. We had rain all night last night, which didn't bother us in the slightest, and we just had a bit of breakfast. We're just coming out for a bit of a walk. You see, it's still quite overcast and quite dull, but still nice by the coast, so we get enough sun back home, so it doesn't really matter. In the end, this turned out to be a bit of a strange walk. I may make a separate short video about it, entitled The Apocalypse Hotel, and you'll get to see what I mean. It was still a lovely short walk, perfect for blowing the morning cobwebs out before we moved on. Okay, so we're back down the bottom of the slope. We're coming back up to the parking again. So we're going to get in there, get packed away and get moved on. Okay, so we've arrived at our next destination, still on day 13. We're 2.5 kilometres away from the laundry and the services. We could have parked over here. It's gravelly and quite nice, but there's a stream sort of running down through here. And I have a feeling that just the other side of this bushes there might be a railway. Now whether it's disused or it's a novelty railway because it looked like a small gauge, I don't know, but play safe, we'll park away. Other side of this
really small road. We've parked on a large, it looks like an extension maybe of the parking of the hotel for when it's really busy. We're parked on here. It's on the Park for the Nights app, but I've noticed nobody's really parked on here since 2022, so I don't know if you're still allowed to park on here, but there's certainly no signs prohibiting it. There still looks like plenty of room in the main hotel car park. We're parked right out the way there, so unless anybody tells us otherwise, it looks like we're going to be staying here just for the night. Good morning and welcome back. It's day 14 of our Northern Spain adventure, and we're just getting ready to get off to the laundry. We got up fairly early. The laundry opens around 9. It's quite a good complex. It's got the laundry on there, a small supermarket, and what I didn't realise when I went there the other day, it's actually got a motorhome service point as well apparently, so we'll have a look for that. Now we plan to get there at 9. Don't put any earlier than that because that's when the gates actually open, and hopefully be the first ones in to try and avoid any fannying around of being stuck behind other people. It's been a long time since I've done any laundry on a campsite, probably getting on for 20 years, but I seem to remember it being a great source of conflict. So anyway, hopefully getting there early will avoid any of that conflict, any of that messing about, and we'll be in and out before anybody sort of starts coming around and it starts getting busy. That's the plan at least. Okay, so we're here. We've parked right out of the way in the corner of the car park as usual, so it's not to be a nuisance to other people. We managed to get straight in where the Labrador is. Straight in there, got the washing in. I'll take you in there and show you in a minute. We've got a supermarket there. It's only small, but it's got everything you need. And over in that corner where you can see the sort of the van life thing going on, they're actually doing their waste now. We've got plenty of time to do the waste. We've got an there, we set the washing. It says 30 minutes, so I'll go in and show you that now. So on the go, we've got our washing in. Put it in the 16 kilogram one because we've got quite a lot. Done the bedding as well. So this is brilliant, I think. You go to this, you download your app with the code, and then what you do then is you just put money from your card onto the app, and from there then you just select what machine you want, put your washing in, close the door, it registers it, and then from there on it just goes. You don't even have to put your own washing powder or anything in it. It all does that for you. So that's brilliant. You say you've got to set your temperature as well, but then it just goes. We don't even need to sit over it because we can monitor it with the app, and it tells you that it's busy, and then it tells you how many minutes are left, and it tells you when it's finished. And the same with the tumble dryer as well. Also, I think that's absolutely brilliant. What a brilliant place. You can come here, one stop, you can do your shopping, you can do your wastes, and you can do your washing. You can even put your annoying kids in the play area whilst you're doing all that. Absolutely brilliant. We're just going to quickly check on the app. I think you just press the status button on the washing machine, and we look at hours. We've got it's obviously busy. It's got a red dot on it, so that's busy. The other two are still free. The 12 kilo washer and the dryer, the 18 kilogram dryer, is still free. But obviously, the 16 kilogram one isn't free because we've got our washing in it, and it's telling us here that we've got 24 minutes left until it finishes. I'm well impressed with that. Okay, now the washing's on. I've just done a little recce of the situation, and we've moved our van from right over in the corner here, up here to the motorway services. I noticed there's some special parking spaces for motorhomes, long ones. So I've parked there because the motorhomes are starting to queue up for the services, the service point. So we're not in a great hurry, but I want to get there in the queue. But cool getting here early. Check all these muppets out. Motorhome hell. Okay, so we're all finished at the supermarket there. It's just the other side of that blue building you can see in the distance there. We've come next door to the service station because even though we're not out of gas, it's looking like it's a little low. We can easily shake the bottle, so it's sort of basically on vapours. So we're going to swap that while we got the opportunity rather than get into the middle of nowhere and it run out. It took us a total of 2.5 hours at the supermarket. We did a top-up shop. We did all our washing and dried it. That came to €11, which I thought was pretty good because it was a huge washing machine and tumble dryer. We emptied all our services and topped up our water. We both had showers and then re-topped up the water a bit quickly with my magic watering can. So we're all completely full, and now we're going to see about getting a gas bottle here. This service station next door also does motorway services. if you spend €30 in the service station, say on fuel, you get them for free. If you don't, then it's €3. Either way, it's a good deal. You know, I don't mind paying €3. Okay, so we've got our new gas bottle in. We've long since stitched the two Barbie-sized bottles in favour of just one big gas bottle that fits in there. Reason being, here in Spain, a lot of households, especially in rural areas, use bottled gas. So it's not like you've got to go to a camping shop or something to pick up bottles of gas. Any service station here in Spain will have gas for sale on an exchange basis. So really easy to do. You're never far away from gas here. So that's that done. Final job today. We're going to go down to the port and see what the parking's like. If it's stupid busy like the other day, we'll be moving on to the next place. If not, we'll park in the port bit and go and have a look at the town, which is meant to be really beautiful, but I'm not walking shoulder to shoulder with people for it, so we'll see how we go.
So we arrived at the harbour and had a look around, but something wasn't right. I've found with motorhomes over the years that standard operating procedure seems to be park as close as you possibly can to the attraction and then gradually park further and further away. This didn't seem to be the case today. They seemed to be parking as far away from the sea as they could and then gradually parking closer and closer to it. This leads me to believe that possibly at night time, when it's dark, the actual sea hits the wall and comes straight over the top and lands in the car park, obviously soaking any motorhomes that are parked there. Thankfully, it was still early and it wasn't too busy, so we decided to park up the motorhome and go and explore Cudillero.
Okay, so we're back from our walk from Cudillero. We decided we're not going to stop in this car park tonight. Starting to get busy, and sooner or later somebody's going to box us in. We won't be able to get out at all, so I think we're going to move further down the coast somewhere a bit quieter. Maybe a halfway point between our next stop, or we may make it all the way to our next stop, I don't know.
Coming up in part 3, we brave motorhome hell for the sake of some good kayaking and fail miserably. And after a sleepless night, continue on to a quieter location. We explore more small fishing towns and explore old factory ruins from a bygone era. Finally, we wave goodbye to the northern coast of Spain and proceed on to the west coast. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss part 3, and I'll see you all next time.